Hello, everyone, and welcome. You may have to forgive the odd noise. I'm actually just in a small bush behind where I live. So, we're in the middle of a neighborhood here. You're going to hear traffic, you're going to hear kids screaming, you're going to hear quads going by. Who knows what you may hear. So as I finished saying that you may hear noises, there's a couple that came by on a quad, so I had to stop the camera. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I put out a video on how I hang my tarp. In that video, I used my version of the quick deploy Ridgeline. Sure enough, I edit the video, I post the video. About 5 minutes after I posted it, a friend of mine sent me a link to a video that Dave Canterbury did over at the Pathfinder School, where he updates it and makes it a little better. So today I came for a little walk back in these bushes and I got some pieces of stick and I made a couple of toggles using my Swiss Army knife. I used the knife to carve it, and let's see if I can get it out. I used just the awl and I drilled a hole through the toggle. Now, what Dave was suggesting is at one end of your quick deploy, where you have your loop, he puts a toggle on the line there. So you wrap the loop around the tree, insert the toggle, and then you can just pull on it and snug it up. You don't have to search for a piece of stick on the ground, a toggle, anything. It's already on the line. Makes it a whole lot faster, a whole lot easier. When you get to the other end to tie to the other tree, instead of tying a loop into your line, he just added an extra Prusik knot. And you slide the Prusik along close to the tree, bring your line around it, and you have another toggle pre-made on that line. You put the toggle through the Prusik, and then you can pull it tight. Now, I carved some toggles this afternoon, and I set it on one of my lines. I went and tested it in some trees in the yard. It worked fine. And as I was looking at it, I came up with another idea to add on to what Dave did. So let me show you how this works. Here's my quick deploy Ridgeline, and I added 4 toggles instead of 2. Let me show you why. Pull the line loose a little bit, slide everything down. Now I wrap my line around the tree, place 1 toggle in the line, pull it tight. Now I take 1 toggle, 1 Prusik, and we head on down to the other end. Now, I'm going to leave my Prusik about an arm's length away from the tree. Bring my line and the toggle around to this side. So once I'm at this point, with my Prusik here, I grab the toggle, fold the line over and pinch it. Insert it through my Prusik, leaving my slack line coming out through the top. That way when I pull on it, the string from the Prusik will pinch it and hold it tight. And now I can make that ridgeline as tight as I want. And it's not going anywhere. If I want a little extra security, I can just do a half hitch. And now I know it's definitely not moving. Now let me show you why I added the other two toggles. So here's the rest of the makeup for my line. There's a toggle, another Prusik, a Prusik here, and another toggle. So I'm going to move these two to that end, and this toggle goes to the other end. Now I have my tarp. I insert the Prusik through the loop in the tarp, and then I wrap it over this toggle. And now I should be able to pull this Prusik and when I do the same at the other end, it should tighten up the tarp. Pull the Prusik through the loop in the tarp and around the toggle, top and bottom. And now, when I pull this Prusik, it tightens up the tarp. Now I can grab a stake and stake out the tarp. Grab another stake. Now I can put a stick under here and lift this up. I can stretch out a line and keep it higher off the ground. This is just for demonstrations. So I'm just going to stick it right in the ground. Just to give you an idea of how it would work. Now some of you may have noticed that I had an extra Prusik loop. We've got one to tie that end of the tarp, one for the other end of the tarp, one to tie off to at the tree, and I had added a fourth loop. I didn't think to bring a light with me, but I've got the bag with the stakes for the tarp, and that's what this would be for. I could hang a light on there and slide it anywhere I want up and down this ridgeline. And there we have it. Quick deploy ridgeline with enough toggles on it that I don't even have to search for a toggle to tie down the tarp. I grab the ridgeline, I grab the tarp, and 2 stakes. I'm done. That's fantastic. And to take it apart, it's all just in reverse. Now I cinch it, but I don't close it tight. I always take apart the ridgeline, coil it up, and put it in the bag. Take the toggle out of there. Now, when you pull really tight on the Prusik, I'm using Mason's line for my Prusiks. Out, mosquito, go away. And with mason line, I find it works really well, but when you pull tight on them, you have to loosen them up a little bit when you want to run them down the line again. But they loosen up very quick and easy. And then I just slide everything down over to this end. Once I have everything down towards this end of the tree, I just tug on the toggle a little bit and it loosens up the line. Pop it out. I slide everything down towards my loop. Double check and make sure I have all my toggles. One of them happened to stay down the line. So all my Prusiks, and 1, 2, 3, 4. All my toggles. What I like to do, between 2 fingers, all my toggles and my loop are there, and then I wrap pinky, thumb in a figure 8. And I just keep doing that. Now you have to be careful because sometimes your line will wrap around something and it'll end up tying a short knot in it. I undo that knot, hold it together, and just wrap it around. Now I have one simple knot on the end of my line, and that's simply so that the toggles don't fall off the line. Then I just poke that line through. Cinch it up tight. And there's my ridgeline again. When I'm ready to use it, it all comes out. No knots. Nice and simple. So I can tie it to the tree, grab the whole hank, and take off to the other end. But of course, now that I showed you, I have to retie it. Luckily, it's a fairly simple and easy process, and it doesn't take very long. Cinch it snug. The toggles down with the rope covering. And then when I cinch it tight, nothing's going to fall out. Wherever I get to, my tarp's going to work. But now I want to send a big thanks out to Dave Canterbury. I'm really glad I saw that video with the toggles. It works fantastic. That's going to make life even easier. And now that I've tested it with adding 2 extra toggles for the tarp, how much better can you get? So if you've watched this far, I want to thank you for coming along. Always great having you with me. Hopefully we all learned a little something here. And if you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button. And if you're going to do that, you may as well hit the notification bell. It'll let you know whenever we put out a new video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.